The oath-taking ceremony was a very solemn one, and it should have always have been that way because the legislature plays a very important part in Hong Kong's political system and has very important constitutional duties to ensure that Hong Kong will remain stable and prosperous. So I'm very pleased to be able to do the oath administration, a duty given to me by law. Now, the difference is so remarkable, Liu Xing. I just told you 2 years ago, in October 2019, the chief executive, that is myself, I couldn't even stand in the Legislative Council chamber to deliver my annual policy address. There's so much chaos within the chamber, shouting, fighting, and struggling to the extent that I have to truncate my policy address and subsequently delivered by a video. As the chief executive of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region, accountable to the central government, to the people of Hong Kong, I felt very bad and very sad about that occasion. Now, I could go into the Legislative Council solemnly, administer the oath for the 90 members, and I will go back again next week to deliver a speech, and I could do all the things that should have been done by the chief executive in collaboration with the Legislative Council.
Have you figured out why some people did not go to vote? And how do you make sure, both by specific measure or mechanism, to channel those voices which are not anti-China, but simply because they have different ideas about how Hong Kong should be governed better? How are you going to do that?
Sure. No, exactly. The purpose of the improvements to the electoral system is to ensure patriots administering Hong Kong. It is not to return a system that will say yes to everything that the government wants to do. Now, so previously, when politicians are being classified as pro-establishment or pro-democracy, in my view, is not the right way. I think every politician in the Hong Kong SAR should be patriotic, and then they can take part in the political system. And once they are in the political system, of course, they can have their free mind. They could criticize our policies. They could be more pro-labor, or they could be more pro-business. And then we can sit down rationally to decide and discuss what would be in the best interest of Hong Kong. So let me make it very clear that we welcome dissenting voices about the government policies. And I certainly feel that with more rational debate and participation of politicians who represent the views of the people, then the policies could be improved. Now, beyond the polls, that is, other means, the government has a lot of channels to collate the opinion of the people. We have statutory process for town planning. We have to do public consultations on major policies, and we have to conduct hearings and inquiries so that people to come in. And we may even have town hall meetings, which I used to attend before all this political chaos happened. Now, coming back to the Legislative Council vote, voting, nobody could actually give a full answer to explain the turnout rate. But 30% was not a low figure. 1.35 million turned out to vote, given the current circumstances. In my view, it's a very important indication of support for the electoral system. And you have to ask the other people who did not vote why they did not vote. But I will not belittle this election and the electoral system, because the 90 members now taking their office, they come from a very broad representation. They have different views on many of the things, and I'm sure that they will play their part to monitor the performance of the Hong Kong SAR government.